Did you get her message?
Mm-mm. Hey everybody, welcome to Deep in Love. This is our first time here, so bear with the all the little things that we're going to work through. We have Ruby here with us, and hopefully Sammy will be joining shortly. Let's connect this. For anyone listening in, feel free to go to the group chat and message in any questions. If you want to call, leave your number and we can call you in as well. We'll give it a few minutes as people start to sign in. There we go. Always fun. Always an
Hi.
adventure. Hey!
Hey,
Good.
Sammy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Sammy, what time is it there?
It's 10 p.m. It's my
Oh,
bedtime, but I'm staying up late.
well, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I'm so glad I can be with you guys. Wish
Yes.
I was in LA though.
Soon.
Yes, very soon.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm just going to introduce you guys. So we have Ruby here. Everybody meet Ruby.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today.
And Ruby's here in LA with us. So she's a local. And
I
hey guys, we have Sammy. Sammy's calling in from Canada.
Yes, the Great White North.
How's the weather up there?
It's not too bad. Summer's not too bad, but it was kind of rainy today. That's okay.
It was kind of rainy yesterday here, so.
There you go. Fair enough.
Hey guys, so this is all about having fun. The goal of this is to have fun, and I'm huge on being practical. How can I be happy, find love, get a job, whatever it is, those goals that we all have, how can you do that right now? I'm not huge into the loftiness, and it seems so far-fetched, you know? So this show is all about having fun and how-tos. And tonight we want to talk about, the main focus of tonight is self-love and why it's important and what that even means. But before we get started, will you both take a moment to just introduce yourself and kind of tell us what you do and maybe how you got started doing that? I'm going to start with Ruby.
Sure. So I began my journey to self-love in 2012, and that was when I hit a rock bottom moment. I realized that I could continue on the current path of self-destruction and end up in an early grave, or I could own my experiences and create and change my life. So I decided to change. I used to have like this woe is me mindset where I would blame the external world and other people for all the bad stuff that was happening to me, but I realized that I was the one attracting all those bad things. So I embarked on this journey to self-love, and that journey has changed every aspect of my life. I now love myself too much to ever put myself in a negative situation. I've gained tons of self-worth, and I know that I am worthy of a positive and happy life. So now I'm dedicating my life to helping others transform their lives by teaching them how to harness the love that they have within them.
Awesome.
I love it. So you have a website?
I do. It's www.iamru.by. I am Ruby.
Let's type it into the chat room.
Will do.
And what is the purpose of your website?
So the purpose of my website is to share my life experiences in hopes that I can inspire other people to also find the love that they have within and to own their stories and to learn how they can take back control of their lives. No matter how crazy things seem, we can do it. We can take back control. And I've done it, and now I just want to show other people how they can do it too. And that's what I show on my website.
Okay. So do you do coaching, one-on-one? Do you do group? What are the services that you offer?
So the coaching is coming into play very soon. I'm just working on my packages. It'll be one-on-one as well as group coaching. I also do intuitive counseling for people who are going through traumatic experiences. And I'll be putting out some e-programs, so online programs, starting this fall.
Awesome. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your personal life.
My personal life?
Just a little.
So I am a Canadian who is now living in the U.S. And it's been quite the journey. I moved here last October for the love of my life. And I have to say, going from leading a life of repetitive, abusive relationships to where I am now, I mean, you can come full circle if you put the intention out there and you start by changing yourself. And I did that. And by changing myself, I attracted the man of my dreams, pretty much, and we now co-create an amazing life together, and we use applications from the law of attraction, and we both practice self-love daily. So my personal life is going great, and it's really come around in the last 2 years, and it's all because I've put in the work and I've dedicated to living a positive life.
What does he do?
He is the co-founder of a company here in LA called 2020.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Sammy, your turn. Tell us a little bit.
Okay, well, I came from a pretty normal life, normal family. Everything was, good, as we say, maybe blah. And like everyone else, I had some troubled times. I had some, obstacles to overcome.
Are we losing?
I think so.
That's okay. I'll talk about me for a second then. So she comes.
Okay.
So I'm, as you guys know, my name is Ariel. I'm originally from Seattle. I moved to LA about 3.5 years ago. I'm a suicide intervention coach. So I run a support group here in Los Angeles, and I also run an online chat room. And I have a webpage as well. And I'm a published author. My book, Love You, Love Me, Love We, came out last month, which has been doing really, really well. So I moved to LA originally for the film industry.
And it totally changed my life. And I started to make my own changes. So honestly, soon after that, everything started falling into place with my life. I had to get rid of some relationships. I had could come to me, and I didn't know what that was yet. So I started to believe that I could do more with my life, and that I wasn't just gonna work in a salon, which was what my plan was at the time, and I knew that I could give something else, something bigger, and I started to believe that I deserved to be successful and that I could shine, and so opportunities just started falling into my lap. I started my own business. I'm now a full-time entrepreneur, always will be. And yeah, I just started to value myself. And that's something that we all need to do. And I think it's definitely a journey. And everyone's journey is different, but you have to embrace the journey, you have to love it, and you have to go with it. So now my passion is really for helping other people discover that and discover their potential and then work toward creating their dream life.
And you have a website as well, right?
Yes. My website is called sammysecrets.com. I will type it in here. It kind of takes a few of my different passions together. I kind of call it loving from or feeling good from the inside and the outside. So I am a makeup artist. I own a makeup school here, and so I do a lot of the outside, image, which is a part of the equation, but I don't think that it's all of the equation. You can't just put on makeup and be beautiful. It has to come from within. So I talk a lot about changing, the inside first, and that natural love and beauty will just glow and completely exude from your body. And then also I talk about health and wellness and fitness and that kind of stuff, because you really have to take care of your body and your nutrition and all of that as well. So they're my little secrets that I share, and you can share with everyone too.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you a question. So tell us a little bit about your personal life, though. We kind of lost you. You cut off for a minute, so there's a chunk of the middle.
Okay, that's okay. My personal life, well, there's not much of a personal life right now. But no, I spend a lot of time with my sister. She's my best friend. I have a few close friends here. But my personal life right now is mostly working on my business, because it's what I love to do every day, every night. I'm totally single. I'm not really looking for anything right now. I just want to focus on following my dreams and fulfilling my passions, and all of that will come along when I'm ready. So that's kind of the basis of my personal life.
I'm going to ask you both this, and what brought you to doing what you do today? What was it that caused you, or what prompted the journey, or what happened in your lives to get you to this point? Or were you just always happy and wanted to do this?
Do you want to go first, Ruby?
Sure. What prompted me was my own life and my own life transformation. So as I mentioned earlier, hitting rock bottom, that was after a lot of years of living with depression, ranging from clinical to manic depressive states, addictions, and a string of abusive relationships. I had just had enough, and I was at a point in my life where I had to make a change. I never in a million years thought that I was capable of making that change, nor did I ever think there were other people out there who could empathize with what I was going through. So I kept it all inside until that rock bottom moment, and I changed my life. And now all I want to do is share my experiences and be really transparent about everything that I've been through, because since then, since I've been writing about my experience on Facebook and on Tumblr, I've had a lot of people open up to me, sharing their own similar experiences, and it makes me realize that we're not alone, that all of us have similar experiences. They may come in different shapes and forms, but we all learn the same lessons, and we can all learn from each other. So that's why now I've dedicated a life to helping other people, is because I don't want anyone to have to feel as alone as I did.
I feel like we all have a similar story.
We do.
So I discovered my passion for helping other people about 4 years ago when I started my own business with Arbonne International. I thought it was going to be like a little side job, and it honestly just totally changed my life. The business made me grow into a person that I never thought I could be, and it also has brought like the most incredible opportunities, and it's allowed me to realize new goals and new ambitions and new possibilities for my life. It's really what drives me every day to get up and share positivity and share love and share, guidance, because it's what brought me all of those things. It's really what took me on this journey, and to say, okay, to succeed in this business, you have to help other people succeed. So I kind of took that concept and put it into every single part of my life. So that's kind of what kick-started me, because I just had to do it. And I really believe that there's a journey that every person has to go on. It's a transformation, a personal transformation. You'll have to fall down, you'll have to get up, you'll have to keep pushing, but you are going to become somebody that you never thought you could be. So that's kind of how I got into that. It doesn't happen overnight, this transformation. It's like a long process of consistently working and learning and growing, but it's so worth it. If I could give one piece of advice, I would probably say you have to do what makes you genuinely happy. You have to do what makes you jump out of bed excited in the morning. It has to be like the happy, like glowing, excited, motivated, that kind of happy. So find that, and that's your passion, and that's your destiny, and that's what you need to do, because everything falls into place when you're doing what you love.
I could not agree more. Love it. I'm going to tell a little bit about my story, too. So I originally am from Seattle. I moved to LA 3.5 years ago. I am a mom of a 4-year-old daughter. I moved here for the film industry, so I actually work at a film studio and went to school full-time. So the past 3 years of my life, I was not thinking. I was strictly going to school full-time and working full-time. And September of last year, it was coming to an end. I was graduating. And I just felt the pressures of everyone in society, or, I put it on myself too, of what are you going to do when you're done? What are you going to do when you're done? What are you going to do when you're done? And I would just be like, I don't know. It was so bombarding. And it just seemed daunting and overwhelming. So I was dealing with that, and at the same time, I was going through a breakup in a relationship with someone that I truly adored. And so that just kind of pulled out the carpet from underneath me, and I hit rock bottom. I spent a good few months literally crying every single day. I couldn't hold it together. I was crying in the grocery store, crying on the bus, in my car, at work, and I felt so alone and isolated. And living in LA, as Ruby knows, and Sammy, you've been here, it's crowded. It's extremely crowded. And I would just be like, how can I feel this lonely, but there's so many people here? And then, too, with, online media, and there's the whole social friends, but you have 800 friends on Facebook, and you have 500 friends on Instagram. How could you be lonely? So we're afraid, as a society, we're afraid to say that we're lonely and isolated, because how could you be? So yeah, I hit rock bottom, and it was one day of straight crying. I remember walking home, and I sat down on my bed, and I was just thinking, not one person ever asked if I was okay. They were never like, ma'am, is everything all right? And that scared me, because I realized, how many people did I walk by that I never even noticed that if they were crying or upset or in a bad mood? And it was that very moment I was like, you know what? I don't wish this feeling on my worst enemy, and I'm done, and so I'm going to help others. I'm going to go be that shoulder that I'm looking for someone to lean on. I'm going to go be the hand. I'm going to go be the ear that I'm looking for, to anyone I can. So I started a blog, and I kept hearing in my head the sayings, give and it shall be given unto you, or the love you put out always comes back. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to put this theory to a test in my personal life, because I am so unlovable right now. That's how I feel about myself, and lonely and depressed, and I can't get any worse, so I'm just going to try this. So I started my blog. I started a goal. I was going to do one random act of kindness every single week with my daughter, and we just had a lot of fun coming up with new ideas, and I realized that random acts of kindness aren't isolated events, that it becomes a lifestyle, it becomes who you are. So taking the everyday habits that you do and turning it around to how it helps others. But yeah, so then I started my Instagram. If you scroll down to my very first videos, I'm literally crying on my videos, and the idea was to post these videos to find validation that I wasn't alone, and to say things that I was telling myself. And so I started my Instagram with 200 followers, and I started getting, like Ruby, you were saying earlier, and Sammy, you started getting a lot of people writing back saying, thank you, I felt this way. And I realized that we are not alone, that there's so many people, even, if you take out the rates of suicide, there's a whole gray area of us that we aren't happy. We are just plugging through and getting through day by day, We have to go to work. We have to go to school, but not truly excited. And I was like, I don't want to live like this anymore, and I want to wake up happy. So let's get there. So that's kind of how I started. Then I started my suicide training. Now I'm a suicide intervention coach. But the most important thing, and that's what we want to focus on tonight, was the self-love. And we aren't taught as a society how to love, let alone love ourselves. We're taught, go buy the new car, buy the new clothes, get the big house, all these things that you need to accumulate. We're not ever taught to stop and master the skill of learning to love yourself. And if you had asked me a year ago, do you love you? I'd be like, yeah, sure. I go get my hair done, and I get my nails done, and I like to go shopping. But there's a huge difference between self-love and self-care. And that's something I want to focus on tonight. How would you guys describe the difference between self-love and self-care?
Well, for me, self-love is truly about having a relationship with yourself and loving who you are for everything that you've been, everything that you've been through, all that you are in the present moment, and all that you will become in the future. Self-love is that relationship that you have with yourself. It has to be positive. You have to love yourself in order to be able to love other people fully. Self-care is when you're taking care of yourself in other manners. So that's, the working out and the health, the nutrition, the going to the hair salon, doing things that make you feel good. But the self-love is what happens inside you.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you get there? I was talking to a girl earlier, and she said, I'm so ugly. And I said, you're actually not, you're beautiful. And it's all up here. And she was like, yeah, I've told myself, I've tried, it doesn't work. Which I know all of us, we've heard that over and over. What's your response to that type of question? Either of you.
I would say that those sort of beliefs are created throughout our lives from what people have told us, from what we've read, from what, maybe a bully in grade 4 said to you, and they just accumulate and they become your beliefs. But beliefs are beliefs are facts to you, but you can change them because they're not real facts. So I always say you have to change. I read in a book once, it was like, change the jelly in your donut. Your mind is a donut, and there's jelly in that donut that's been created from all of these sayings, all of these, something that maybe someone that you really care for, like your parents or your grandma or your aunt, said something to you like, oh, that looks horrible. Now you think, oh, I look horrible in this, or whatever it is, it becomes a belief. It becomes the jelly in your donut. So you need to get rid of that jelly, and you need to make new jelly, and the jelly is made by giving yourself positive, affirmations, surrounding yourself with positive people who believe and encourage you, and also putting up your positive shield. Like, if someone says something negative to you, it has to literally bounce off your shield, and it will smack them right in the face, and it will never sink in to your jelly in your donut, because you have this nice shield, or you could call it the glaze on your donut if you want. But you have to mind your mind. You have to listen to what you're telling yourself. Every time you look in the mirror, are you picking apart what's wrong, or are you saying, oh my God, I am beautiful, or thank you for being me? You have to change. It's like a habitual thing you have to create, and you have to do it every single day, all the time, and just surround yourself with only things that are going to bring you up and change all of those beliefs.
Yeah, for sure. I actually have a lot of scarring on my face from acne when I was a teenager, and so for many years I struggled with that, feeling so insecure, and straight up I was like, I'm ugly, I'm unattractive, And I would look in the mirror and I would just focus on that one thing.
Mm.
And self-love and happiness, these are skills. Just like learning to play the piano or the guitar, you have to practice it every day. So there is no magic pill, there is no overnight fix. It's every day. And how you get from feeling that way to loving yourself is the baby steps. If you don't feel beautiful, you sit down after you've taken your shower and you're butt-ass naked and look at yourself and say, you are perfect, just the way you are. Because everything about you is you. It tells your story. This tells my story. You accept it. And the more you believe you are perfect, the more you will attract the perfect body.
Mhm.
So and I say, every time you put your shirt on or you put your shoes on, use those as trigger points. I'm going to put on my smile at the same time. I'm going to choose happiness. Because these are the choices we make every day. Someone was like, how do you stay positive? I said, I choose it. Like, how do you stay happy? I choose happiness. When I first wake up, I'm like, I'm going to be happy today because I don't want space. I don't want to do anything else. So I'm going to choose it. And I'm huge on affirmations. I put sticky notes all over my mirror. I put sticky notes on my car. I put them on my desk, on books, as just reminders. I actually have 3 alarms that go off on my phone, too, throughout the day that just say random things. One's like, you're beautiful just the way you are. So the more you can talk to yourself and practice that and see the reaffirming notes around you, then the easier that gets, and then you see a transition. The same girl was like, but you're so beautiful. And I said, and I was beautiful a year ago too. I didn't have plastic surgery. I didn't change anything. I'm the same person. But it's all the mentality, and it's all up in here. And the moment you fall in love with yourself, the rest of the world does too. And that's what becomes attractive. It's the inner beauty. It becomes contagious and infectious.
Yep.
Yeah.
100.
Ruby, what's your opinion on or advice for getting loving yourself?
Well, I'm big on personal affirmations as well, and I always like to think of it as it's all habits. We all own a variety of habits. Some are positive, some are negative. It's about replacing those negative habits with positive ones. So anytime I would catch myself saying, oh, I'm so ugly, or I'm too fat, or I'm not smart, I would replace it with, I am beautiful, I am fit, I am intelligent. And like you said, it takes work. It's an active working mind that you need to apply. It's not just going to happen. You have to make the choice every single day. And at the beginning, it's going to feel like you're making that choice every single moment, because you are. There are mornings where I wake up and my depression kicks in, and instead of just staying in bed like I would in the past, I tell myself I am going to choose to be happy today, and I get out of bed. It's an active decision, and I act on it, and I do it. And that's the most important thing people have to realize, is that these things don't just happen. We don't just magically transform. We put in the work, and we continue to put in the work every single day. And if we can do it, anyone can do it. You just have to commit.
For sure. There's anytime anyone says it's hard, I'm like, no, losing a leg and then learning how to walk, that's hard. Choosing happiness, and it's all a mindset up here, and it's not hard. It's okay, I'm gonna decide this, and now I'm gonna stick to it, like you said. And it's a process. And at the beginning, it literally does feel like every single second, every time that I would start to cry, I would start to feel down. I would literally say, no, you are happy. And I'm that crazy person in the car. I would literally be driving to work going, I'm happy. I'm happy. So you get it? And it's all about feeling, And so it's a progression, absolutely. I'd be saying this as I'm literally crying and feeling alone. One of my favorite mantras or affirmations is, I am happy, healthy, and whole, and there is no hole in my soul.
I love it.
this one, it just really, really resonated with me because one of the reasons I was feeling so lonely, and I am whole. I am enough as I am, so I don't need to feel like I need somebody else or need a relationship. And so that one really helped me. But I would literally be saying it over and over and truly feeling, what does it feel like to be whole? I don't know. This sucks, but I can try to imagine, you know. So do you guys have some favorite affirmations or mantras that you use, Sammy?
I honestly change it up like every single day. I do something where I've trained my brain to, if I'm saying something negative or if I just feel a little bit down, I literally I flick my finger, which tells my brain stop it, and then I take a deep breath and I put my shoulders back, and then I feel good, and then I think a positive thought, and I'm not trying to correct what I thought before, but I think something positive. So it literally, I'll just let it spill from my brain. Or I'll do gratitude all the time. Gratitude, thank you for my amazing life. Thank you for this amazing day. Thank you for all the miracles coming to me. Or if I'm feeling down about maybe something yesterday, then I'll bring that back and I'll say, thank you for all of my friends, or thank you for the health of my family. Anything that I know I care about, I'll just let that come in a gratitude sentence, and that's almost like a great affirmation because you're realizing what you have, and you're also focusing forward moving, right? Instead of focusing on the past and maybe what you've struggled with before, you want to let that go. So if you're always going back to it, you're not really letting it go. So I'm always just trying to move forward. But I think one of the most powerful affirmations you can do is to stand in the mirror and look yourself in the eyes and say, thank you for me. Thank you for being me. I love you. And it's just the first time I did that, I literally was crying. I was like, people don't say that to themselves. And it's a very powerful thing you can do in, like Ruby said, this relationship with yourself.
Absolutely. I remember the first time I said, I love you, I would be like, okay, I'm going to imagine that I have this hot date or I have this new crazy boyfriend, and how would I say it to them? Because a lot of times we neglect ourselves. I had never, I'm going to say I love you in the romance kind of way. What?
Yeah.
I literally would look in the mirror and I'd be like, I love you. I do. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enough,
So everyone go do that tonight before you go to bed.
Exactly. Ruby, do you have a favorite affirmation?
My favorite mantra is be love, and I adopted that in 2012 when I was going through my changes, and my depression was really bad, and I created a new habit, and that was yoga. So anytime I felt sad, I would get up and walk over to the yoga studio and go to a yoga class, and the entire yoga class I would say to myself, be love, be love, be love, until I would feel that love inside me. Now I'm at a point, I still use it to this day. It's been over 2 years, and it's my favorite mantra because it always brings me back to a place of love. It always brings me back to a centered place. Anytime I feel any type of ego-driven emotions like anger or jealousy or frustration or anything like that, I just repeat to myself, be love. And then I remember that there's that love inside me, and it just instills this feeling of calmness and stillness. And I imagine and visualize that love radiating out of me, and it's like my emotions just switch, and it's amazing. So I definitely love sharing that with all of you, and I hope that you try that whenever you feel the anger rising up, or whenever you feel the self-hatred coming up. Just tell yourself, be love, and visualize that love within you.
I love that because it's so simple, but it's so powerful when you really get it.
Yeah. It's easy to repeat.
I would always say, okay, I'm looking for love but I am love. The very essence of me is love. So if I am love. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it feels like, but I am love. A lot of people will ask, like, I'm trying to lose weight, or I want to stop smoking, or what's other practical things. And the more I talk about it and look at it, it always comes back to the same question. Do you love yourself? Because if you loved yourself, you wouldn't eat that way, or you would want to work out, or you wouldn't want to smoke, whatever, or drink too much, because that doesn't benefit, So I'm always saying, like, let's look at people. You don't love yourself. That's why you feel that way. Or even with relationships or a work situation or anything, because the way we treat ourselves sets the bar for how everybody else will treat us. So anytime people tell me, well, they're just rude to me, they do this, and I'm like, how do you talk to yourself? When no one's there, when you're all alone, what do you say? How do you say it? And I would always say, would the things that you tell yourself, would you tell a little newborn baby that? Would you tell your baby self that way? Would you talk that way? So yeah. The other thing too is you have to replace take away technology. Technology doesn't. We have to take the time to get to know ourselves, and we start our day with technology. We're automatically going to our phones. We're turning on the TV right before going to bed. Most of the time, falling asleep with the TV on. I am not against technology, and I'm not against TV, but always asking is, are these habits, are the things that I'm doing every single day, are they helping me become happier, healthier, and in love? So start your day. We were talking about gratitude. For a long time, I did a gratitude journal, and that really helped me get out of my place. Every morning I would write down 5 things I'm grateful for, and at the end of the night, come up with 5 new things that I was grateful for, and just setting the tone, because like you said, gratitude is the key. It shoots you out of the depression and attracts in more good things to you. So that's my advice. Don't start the day with technology. Start it with something that will truly love and benefit you. I'm also huge, like, we all spend, 10, 15, 20 minutes getting ready in the morning. Why not use that key time to listen to a positive podcast or download a book. Any time that you can fill your mind with positivity and happiness, then that's only what's going to come back out from you, So even in the car, like, for a long time, I didn't even listen to the radio for a while. I straight was just listening to positive podcasts, and there's so many awesome ones out there that I can give away too if anyone's interested. But it's just setting new habits and new routines that are going to benefit you in the long run, And
during my transformation, I used social media. So at the beginning, I was using social media almost in a negative way, and a lot of people do this, is they'll vent on social media, or they'll bring up negative experiences and passive-aggressive behavior, and you see that a lot on social media. And so what I started doing was I started to hold myself accountable. So I would post positive affirmations in the morning and then hold myself accountable to it for the rest of the day. I would post things like fitness pictures because I really wanted to stick to my new journey and I wanted to hold myself accountable. And so by making these things public and by stating them out loud, it almost made me feel like I had to do it. And so I would stick with it. But I do definitely agree that you need to take time off of technology, and if it takes actually scheduling it into your schedule, like I will be off my computer from this time to this time, do it, because it will help you. It's great to just reconnect with people in real life, to read a real book, to listen to the positive podcast, like Ariel said, or to just go for a walk outside. Just reconnect with the world around you and not always do it through the screen of your computer.
I love that. I completely agree. I actually started like a Facebook feed, a group message with some of my best friends and my sisters, and literally it would like every morning just blast, "Today I am grateful for this," and then they would blast one back. So like this positive social, because we don't live near each other, we couldn't always go visit for the coffee, you know, but we created this little support team within ourselves of saying what we're grateful for, and that's just kind of how we started our day. I love that, Ruby.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you want to talk about it all, Sammy?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I really, really, really believe in is the visualization and your whole environment. So, in my house, this is my makeup academy down here. So there's not that much of my own stuff, but upstairs in the kitchen, I have 2 dream boards or vision boards. In my room, I think I have 4. And then I also have a big quote on the wall that says, "We create our own tomorrows by what we dream today." And so I think that you need to absolutely like surround yourself with only things that you want. Before, my room was just like boring, you know, it had like nothing bringing me forward. It was messy and unorganized, and I think that really where you are and how you feel in the place that you are all the time really, really changes things. So if you can have one room or one place that you can go sit down and feel good, that you're going to be every day, absolutely do that. For dream boards, you just need like a cork board, or I even have like a big piece of styrofoam that I found in the garbage, and I just pinned a bunch of pictures, go through old magazines, print off some stuff that you want, put all of your goals up, put every dream you have up, put the life that you want up there, and then look at it every day. So every morning, you know, before I get up, I wake up, I say thank you for this new day, thank you for this amazing day, and then I relax for about 15 minutes, and I look at my dream boards, and I imagine the life that I want. And then I usually go to my gratitude journal, and I write 10 things that I'm grateful for, and I go through them, and I really feel thank you, thank you, thank you for all of these things. So you really have to make your surroundings support everything that you're trying to do. Because if your house and your room and everything is going against what you're trying to achieve, you're just gonna like pull yourself down.
I completely agree. And, you know, you can do that in baby steps. Sometimes it's hard to tackle everything at once, so just baby steps. I'm going to work on this. I'm always asking myself, any habit that I do, is this good or bad? There is no neutral. Is this going to help me become happier, or is this going to deter me the opposite way? Every little thing that I'm doing, whether it's turning the TV on, the book I was reading, any of the things that I do on a regular basis, you know, asking, is this going to make me happier? I hear this question all the time, and it's how do I stay positive? Do you guys have a short answer on advice for staying positive?
I definitely do. I get asked that a lot too, and all I say is I make a conscious decision to stay positive. It's simple.
I completely agree. I love it.
So simple, and I think like, you know, you said you choose to be happy, and being positive is there's always a positive in every situation. Sometimes it's really hard to find that, but you just have to keep pushing for that silver lining on any dark cloud. And I think once you start being able to do that, it becomes your way of living. And in any situation, when everyone else around you is complaining, saying this is horrible, like on a flight, like people are like, oh my God, I can't believe we're late. I can't believe we're, you know, I had to pay $20 for my bags, and that, like, just constantly complaining. It's like, okay, we're like, every time I walk into a plane, I look directly at the captain. I say, thank you so much. I look directly at the flight attendants. I say, thank you so much. Like, I'm pure gratitude. I don't care what happens. I'm pure gratitude. I literally imagine this plane. Oh my God, we're sitting in this box, like in this metal thing, and we're flying in the air, and we're going somewhere that would take us weeks to drive. Like, it's so amazing, and you can't, that's just one example, but for any situation, you have to be grateful. For anything, you have to find that silver lining.
I agree.
I'd like to add, can I add on that?
Yeah, sure. I think we're going to say the same thing. Go ahead.
Like every life experience, yes, there's a silver lining, and every life experience, you know, even the bad and the uglier and the more horrible, all of those life experiences have a gift. And I use the word gift because I like to think of them as gifts, and those gifts come in the form of lessons. So it's up to us to find those lessons within those experiences. But like, we're not going to find them if we're stuck in the mindset of like, I can't believe this is happening and this sucks. No, we're going to find that by switching our mindset to being more positive and actively looking for that lesson. Once we find that lesson, we can apply it to our life to create a better, more positive life for ourselves.
Completely agree. There's one thing that I would do on a practical. I'd say, okay, 24 hours. And you know, you can start smaller. Start with 3 hours. You start with 8 hours, 12 hours. 24 hours, no negativity. I saw that on your post earlier too. And that's one goal I would constantly do with myself. And that meant no negativity out of my mouth and no negativity into my ears. So if I found myself in a conversation, whether it was work or friendship, and I don't care if they're your best friend and they think they're venting and it's all good, there's no negativity. And I would just remove myself. I say, I'm sorry, I'm going to remove myself from this conversation right now because I'm not allowing any negativity in any way possible. And so you set these deadlines or these time frames, okay, 24 hours. And then it just gets easier and easier. And negative people don't want to be around positive people. So eventually it just kind of fades off and dies off on its own, you know? So
yeah, I remember at the beginning when I started, like, I don't know, on this whole journey, and everyone would like comment and be like, oh, you're so positive, you're so mushy-gushy, you're so, you know, and people think that it's just like this fake, like, you know, you live in this dream world, whatever. People say all sorts of things, and now they're like, oh, I get it, you know, but it's just so cool to see all of us talking about, you know, positivity. When you're outside of this positivity mindset and world, then you don't really get it. So I just want everyone to know that, like, you just have to embark on the journey. Don't care what other people think. Don't care what other people say. You have to respect yourself enough to say, I can do this. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change how I think. I'm going to change everything. And people will judge. People will try to, it's like you're going up, you're like floating away, and people are like trying to bring you back down, being like, no, life isn't that good, life isn't that easy, and it really can be. You have to change your mindset. Literally everything that you think is you're attracting into your life. And that's hard to hear at the beginning because there's a lot of things maybe in your life that aren't so good, but like Ruby said, they're just lessons. You really have to, like, just stop listening to anyone. Don't care what other people think. I remember at the beginning I was like, oh my God, if I post this message on Facebook right now, people are going to be like, what is this girl talking about? Who is she, you know? And I started doing it, and eventually, after a little bit, people were like, oh my God, you know, you're really awesome, and you're really helping me feel good. And so that's how it's going to start for everybody.
I love it. Love, love, love it. You guys, our hour is upon us that fast already. Can you both tell us where people can connect with you? I'll start with Ruby. If people want to follow you, reach out to you.
You can connect with me on Instagram at IamRuby. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/IamRuby. And on my website, www.imru.by. And lastly, on YouTube, and my username is IamRubyVlog.
Nice. Sammy?
Okay, so on my website, sammysecrets.com, you can link to my Facebook page and my Twitter account, but my Twitter and Instagram are both at Sammy McLeod, MCLEOD at the end. And my YouTube channel, which I do lifestyle videos, and I also do makeup tutorials, and my friend Amanda does hair tutorials, is the Love Style Guide. So the Love Style Guide is all about this exact same thing, living a lifestyle that you love.
Love it. Before we go, can you guys give us one 30-second piece of advice that you would want to leave everybody with? Whether it be a mantra, affirmation, just what do you want to leave your followers with?
Do you want me to
start? Or go. Okay. It all begins with self-love. So everything in our life all comes down to self-love. Do you love yourself enough to not put yourself in negative situations? Do you love yourself enough to cherish your happiness? Do you love yourself enough to go after the successful life that you dream of? It's all self-love. So without that key component, other areas of your life aren't going to work as well as you want them to. So instead of focusing on all these different areas of your life, your career, your relationships, your friendships, all the other stuff, focus on the one thing that will help build up everything else, and that is self-love.
Love it.
Love it. All right, so I always say, I have this little quote, be who you want to become. So I would suggest writing down a description, a very, very detailed description, characteristics of the dream person that you want to be. How do you make people feel when you walk into a room? You know, what is your embodiment, and then take that, read it over every single day, and start to take on those characteristics. You will literally become that person over time. So
Love it. Agree. I would say start with baby steps. Look at your life right now and just say, okay, what is a habit or a ritual, a thing that I do that I can change in my life today? Whether it is to take on yoga or listening to a positive podcast, writing down a bio, all these things, do it in baby steps. There's no overnight fix. You didn't get to this place that you're in right now overnight. It took years of the abuse and all the other things going on. So it's going to take time coming back out of that. Be gentle with yourself. Look at everything you have been through, and you are here. So gratitude is the key.
yeah.
To mastering self-love, to happiness, to everything. So this was awesome. Sammy, thank you.
Thank you, Ariel, for putting it together.
Of course, and thank you, Ruby, for being here.
Thank you so much.
I hope everybody has an awesome night tonight, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.